Stuart here. Just a quick video to run you through the recent update we've made to Styck. So the first thing I want to show you is just within our contacts area. We now have a remove option where you can select a company here and click remove and remove them from your records. Any contacts removed won't affect your history. It just means you won't be able to select them going forward, and you can always re-enter them and bring them back. You can do this for both removing a company or you can remove an individual person. So that's a change there we've made to the contacts area. The next thing I want to show you is within our project and under our setup projects area, and it's a variation markup option. So now as part of your project setup, when you open up the side panel and scroll down, you'll have a spot here called variation settings and a variation markup. That means you can enter a percentage value and use that to add to your budget in your variation. So you can automatically add on a variation markup to any of your variation costs. And so after you've set that markup, we can now use that in the actual variation section. I'm going to go there now because this is where we've also made some further changes. So within variations, under the client variations section, we've made some big changes here. So now when you're creating a variation, you'll find that the variation budget is up the top where it used to be below the variation amount. So now basically it follows that logical process of when you do a variation where you might enter the costs before you would actually enter the variation value. And now as part of this breakdown, you can see we've got the variation budget there, the variation markup, and that variation total. And we've got this set to 10% option there. And how this works is once I put a dollar value into my variation budget area, I've got that option to automatically set a markup value. So when I click that and say it's set to 10%, what it does, it brings in this 10% markup there, and it puts a variation amount in there. So I can see there's that variation, the cost plus the markup. I can always adjust that too. So if I went and changed that figure there, it will apply that change and it now changes my markup. But if I want to go back to 10%, I can just use that option there to recalculate the value of this variation. The client side variation doesn't change. It's still the same where you can add that in. And again, the variation budget here is internal. So only we see that, where the variation breakdown below that is for the client. So that's the change we've made there to the variation screen. In addition to these changes, we also have a new variation status option called pending. And we've also made changes to the variation register report. Another addition we've done as part of this update can be found in the progress claims area. So in progress claims now, we've got a claim settings option. So a button that's next to that new claim there, we now have this claim settings. And when I click on that, what it does, it opens up this progress claim settings panel where it looks at the variation statuses. And it says only include variations of the following status in progress claims. So you know what that means. If I don't want like a cancelled variation or a pending variation to show on a progress claim, I can untick those boxes and save those settings, and we'll remember that. So then when I start doing my progress claim, those variations won't show, and it won't show on within the breakdown. It won't show on the breakdown on the PDF as well. So that way you can create these progress claims and just include the variations you want. Now, just a note on that, it only works on variations going forwards. So since this update, so if there's variations you already had, they will always be included because they were already showing on a progress claim. So similar to these settings here, we also have some additional settings options found in the financial reporting. Starting here on the committed cost screen, I've got this report settings button now. So when I click on that, I can decide the status of things that I want to display on my financial reporting. So for variations, I can choose if certain variations I don't want to show. Purchase orders, for example, if I don't want cancelled purchase orders to show. So I'm here on my committed cost screen. I've got timesheet statuses. I can work that through. And I've got those ability there to set these status options. So that way, my financial reporting can be more reflective to what I want to see. So, if I've cancelled a purchase order, I don't want it to show here, I can remove that. So that's there for the committed cost screen. And likewise, we also have that in the work in progress screen. So we've got report settings over here. Then I click on that and I can do the same thing here. So with progress claims, I can say that I don't want any of the submitted, I only want approved. Purchase orders, the same deal. I can remove any rejected ones. And down here for the timesheets, I can decide if I want like not approved or just approved timesheets. So you can set that up once, and then once you save settings, it's done. And the last thing I want to show you as part of this video is a new reporting screen we have too that is called Project Costs. Now this screen works on a date range where I've got this filter date options at the top here. And basically what it does, it shows you the list of transactions that have happened between a date range. So if I wanted to look up the month of December, it would give me a running list of all the things, the transactions we've got, like the invoices, the time, the claims. So if I, for example, filter this and change this period back a couple of months, it's going to reflect that change. So I can go through and see all the costs that have been associated during that time period on a code level. So for each of parts of my budget, I could see that breakdown there, giving me a total down the bottom as well. Now I can also click on any of these, like any of these transactions, to open up a side panel where you can run through and explore them and go into further detail. So if you want to look at any of these costs in further detail, you can. So handy for these cost plus type projects where you need to know how much you spent per each budget line item, so that all that information will be there. And you've got download PDF and download Excel versions. So that's some of the recent changes we've made as part of this current update. If you have any questions or need any assistance, please get in touch. And thanks for watching.